Dear Black Girl, I feel the need to film this video, not just for the person who is gonna watch it, but for my future self and maybe my kids one day. I don't know. But I feel the need to film it. Mind you, it's like midnight where I'm at right now. But I am encouraged and motivated to speak on the things I'm gonna speak about, especially as an African person who grew up in a predominantly Black household, African household. I did not realize how little of my experience as a Black woman, as a Black girl, I've spoken about loudly ever with anyone until the other day. I recognize that I really have not made it a point to speak on it, partially because I guess I haven't made it a point to go there. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when you're in therapy and the therapist is asking you to go there, like to go in that moment, to go in that emotion, to explore. And part of me is kind of like shut off from that reality. And I think it's out of self-preservation and protection. But I'm intrigued and curious as to why. So, with that being said, I did grow up in a predominantly Black household, African household. And I didn't really recognize the impact of growing up with the women I grew up around and seeing them love themselves or seeing them hate themselves and how that impacted my self-love journey. I realized that the way people related to me versus my siblings or my sibling, my brother, impacted me and my experience as a Black woman. I grew up with my brother being lighter than me, skin tone wise, and people would say that all the time. Oh, she's darker. Oh, but he's lighter, you know? He's lighter. And my mom was lighter, is lighter. And it always felt like a low-key jab, like a semi, oh, look at you, like you're not as cute as your brother, whatever that means. Anyways, but that was like a subconscious reality, you know? It was always in the back of my mind that I don't look as good as my brother because of my skin tone. And also seeing women, African women, bleach constantly and change their skin tones to fit a certain stereotype, that made me feel like, okay, like this skin tone is not good. It's not good to be dark-skinned. We should change it. We should aim to be lighter. And people who are naturally lighter Black people have it better than the rest of us. And we're cursed to some degree. And that impacted me a lot. Like, I can remember all the things I did to compensate. You know, okay, I'm gonna compensate with my body. I'm gonna compensate with my hairstyles. I'm gonna compensate with the makeup I put on. I'm gonna compensate with the relationships I'm in. And that I'm just recognizing that like right now in real time. I remember just seeing or even hearing Black women around me in my own family as well complain about their hair. Like deeply complain about their hair, how much of a hassle it is. I'm seeing them drag their kids to salons so their hair can be straightened and permed. I'm watching them cut off hair, and it's crazy because how I grew up in my culture, kids' hair, like, it's cut constantly. You constantly have either a buzz cut or a complete like bald look. You don't have hair at all, boys and girls. And now that I think about it, I think it's because we have subconsciously taken in the idea that our hair is not beautiful and that it's hard to manage and that it doesn't look great, it doesn't look kept, so we're just gonna get rid of it. At any like chance we get, we're just gonna get rid of it. And that showed up in the entire school system where kids' hair, you would not and could not show up at school with long hair. It had to be cut. Only private schools accepted that, where like your hair could be done, or you could have braids, or you could have whatever. But for most of us, we had our hair cut. And I remember those haircuts being so traumatic for me and feeling like a boy, and it impacting my like feminine reality, I guess. And I remember just like going through a few instances where if my hair was not cut a certain way, my grandma would send me back to get it cut again, or like cut it all off again. And that was so traumatic for me because like I cannot imagine having a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old, and I feel like go through that. It's like it felt like punishment a lot of times, and it felt like my hair is not beautiful and it's not pretty, so I have to cut it off. I have to chop it off. And everyone had to go through that. My own brother went through that. So, but I think it's that idea that our hair is not manageable. It's too much, and it's so heartbreaking for me to see older women express that when they have daughters, they will perm their hair and they will cut it off or whatever, like keep it in braids or keep it done, and constantly complain about their kids' hair. And in my head, I'm seeing in real time how that self-hatred is being transferred to this child. Because that's what happens to most of us, is that we grow up with parents who hate this version of themselves, and then they make you hate that version of yourself because they hate that version of themselves. It's like, oh, I hate my hair because it's unmanageable, which means my kid is going to come up with that hair, so it's like a subconscious, like I'm constantly saying and complaining and trying to navigate how to change this reality, all while affecting your child, because the things we say and the things we do affect the kids that are around us. I don't know if people really think about that, unfortunately, especially in the African community. Like, we need to get better at that. There are just some things you don't say around the child. And most of us were parentified, so I don't even have to go into that, because we just heard a lot too young. Indeed, a lot too young. That is not healthy, and I'm gonna die on that hill. That is not healthy, parents. Anyways. So besides seeing women bleaching, in addition to, and then seeing them just perm their hairs, or just like struggle, like seeing this struggle, oh, I have to do my hair, oh, I have to do my hair, oh, here we go again, like I'm gonna be in pain. Or even like taking their kids at 2 years old to get a perm, at 2 years old to get braids, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. Now I'm like, that is brutal. That is brutal to experience that pain early on. It's traumatic. It reminds me of my own experiences with having to sit in a chair still, right, to cut my hair off. And I remember a lot of those people who did cut my hair off always complained that I was not sitting still, always complained and hit me that I was not being good, and that all these things that they complained about. And I'm like, I was 6 years old. I was 6. Like, I don't think any 6-year-old has the capacity to sit still. And yeah, I have a lot of memories with that, and feeling, it's like my body remembers it. And besides the hitting and the complaining that you're not sitting still and your hair needs to be cut, sometimes even getting cuts because like I'm not sitting still, like my hair having scars from that, and recognizing I'm doing all of this because my hair is not good enough, because my appearance needs to be changed. And for me, that was my experience. I don't know if any that's at least like the African experience is nuanced in that way, that some of us grew up with hair, some of us did not grow up with hair. And just realizing now how that impacted me as a black girl growing up, and now getting older and realizing that, shoot, I don't know how to take care of my hair. Like, it's like, okay, I didn't grow up with hair. I didn't grow up with having long hair and having it cut and having it a buzz cut so it's more manageable. And now I'm supposed to immediately transition into adulthood and knowing what to do with my hair. And then you have black women getting into college, getting into corporate, getting into a season of their life where they're supposed to be made up and, look professional, and do not know how to take care of their hair. And they have to learn it the hard way through failed attempts of hairstyles and the hey boo texts, and like deeply struggling. And I'm like, what would change if little black girls learned how to do this when they were little, learned how to do their hair, learned how to love their hair? Which is why I love this channel, Martha Dove and Mary, I don't know her last name. They're twin sisters, but they have their different families on YouTube. I love those girls, and I love how their parents have taught them that their hair is beautiful and that they can do whatever they want with it, and they know how to take care of their hair too. Even the little one, like, it's like amazing to know that, oh, this is how you detangle, this is how you straighten, this is how you moisturize. A lot of us learned that too late. And on top of that, we learned it when we had no patience, because we have this ingrained perception that who we are as a person, my hair, how it comes out of my head is not good enough and it's not pretty. So now I'm struggling to work with it because I already hate it. It's like, oh my gosh, And we don't recognize how that impacts us. And so as parents, I'm like, this is a cry for help for parents. Do not inflict your trauma on your kids. You hate your hair. Your kid does not have to hate their hair. You hate your skin. Your kid does not have to hate their skin. As simple as that. Most of us are healing wounds that could have been avoided. You know what I mean? Like, could have been avoided. Yeah, realizing that impacted how I grew up and how I relate to myself and other Black women. And seeing women who genuinely hated themselves at the core have daughters. Seeing someone who genuinely struggles with self-esteem, self-love, self-acceptance of who they truly are, have a daughter is heartbreaking. Because I'm like, oh no, that same trauma is just going to be passed down. So that impacted me a lot, because of, seeing the women I grew up around just like not accept themselves and not love themselves well. So now as an adult, I'm realizing that there's nothing wrong with my hair. And like, I've shown up on this channel with my hair out like all kinds of ways, because I've truly gotten better at accepting it. And don't get me wrong, I love the wigs. Like, I got this wig yesterday and it's just amazing, incredible, for protective styling or whatever. But I am now much more cognizant. For example, like, I got to a point in life when I graduated college when I realized, why am I getting that hairstyle again? Like, I think I'm getting that hairstyle because I want to please people. I would go places or do interviews or like go on dates, and I would schedule those things and I'll be like, ooh, I need my hair done. So I could look cute for that interview. So I could look cute for that date. So I could look cute for whatever. And after a while, the Lord convicted me in realizing that I do all that stuff so other people perceive me a certain way. And, like, so that they don't perceive me as, I don't know why this word is the one coming up, but I guess as poor or as unkept or as someone who does not take their appearance seriously. And once I realized that, I really fought to unlearn that behavior. And I'm proud to say that we have made some progress, because even when I was getting this wig, I was like, am I getting this so that I can look cute for someone or so that I can appease someone? It's like, no, I'm genuinely getting it because I want something different right now. I want something to look cute, to look different, something I can just, like, if I want to go back to my natural hair, I can do that easy. You know what I mean? And that's how I'm realizing that I'm growing in that area, is that I am no longer doing things without checking in with myself and the Lord. Like, truly. Something with my skin. It's like, as someone who has like skin issues, I have eczema that I'm struggling with heavy right now. Like, you can't see it, but my neck is purple and red and black right now because eczema is kicking me. I guess it's a love letter to any Black girl or myself, or to like my little sisters. You do not have to carry your parents' trauma. You do not have to carry your parents' subconscious hatred for themselves, hence for you. Your skin was not created by man, was created by God, and God created all kinds of beauty. When you see a flower, your favorite flower, like, think about your favorite flower. When you see your favorite flower, or you smell the flowers when you're walking, or you see the spring weather and the sun come up and you're like, oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. When you see the mountains, the rivers, the seas, the lakes, He created that. And He created you. Which means if He created you, He doesn't, first of all, God does not create things He's not proud of. He does not do that. So which means your skin is beautiful. Your hair is exactly how it's supposed to be. It is not a burden. Slow down when you're trying to do it. I was telling my mom the other day, I was like, patience when detangling. Like, we rush through it because we don't have the patience, because we don't have the love for it. When you have love for someone and for something, you take the time to be patient. Patience when it comes to loving your hair. Patience to take care of it. Slowing down on wash days saved my life, low-key. Being like, okay, I'm going to take my time to enjoy this wash day and not complain, and give her the love that she deserves, because your hair needs that love too, okay? Oh, it's not growing, it's not getting long, I'm struggling. It can feel it that you don't love it. You know what I mean? Your skin is amazing. Your hair is created from God Himself. You bear the image of God Himself. So how dare we think that we're not beautiful because of our skin tone and hair, when we are supposed to believe that we bear His image? Stop being mean to yourself. Second thing, stop talking so down about yourself, like, and bad about yourself. Stop putting yourself down. You would not talk to a friend like that, so why would you talk to yourself like that? I just want to encourage you that your parents' trauma does not have to be your trauma, and does not have to be your kids' trauma. Please do not carry this on. Do not carry that mentality that you need to bleach your skin to look better, that you need your hair to always be done and your kids' hair to be permed at 2 years old, to be, I don't know, to please your ancestors or something. I don't know, like, you can undo the pattern. You can undo the pattern. You can do it. Don't repeat the pattern or the loop will repeat tomorrow. Break the pattern or the loop will repeat tomorrow. That's like spot on. So your kids do not have to hate their hair and their skin because you hated your hair and your skin, and because your parents hated their hair and their skin. As women, we don't recognize how this impacts Black women and Black girls. Like, we don't recognize it. We don't recognize it. And so many of us are struggling with insecurities that could have been avoided. And now you, as a present person, you have to do that work of unlearning that stuff and relearning what it means to love your hair, to show up in your skin fully, so that that does not impact the generations to come. Do not be the woman that gives birth to a daughter that they hate because their daughter did not come out with blue eyes and light skin and straight hair. You're not white. It's not going to happen. And you know what's crazy? I'm realizing that we all want the things that we don't have, because white people are tanning and, wanting curly hair and all these, like, they think our hair is like magic, and they're like, wow. On our end, we're like, I wish I had straight hair, and I wish I had blue eyes, and I wish I had light skin, and I wish I had this. No one ever is content with what they have and who they are. We're constantly seeking the opposite. You don't have to do that. Be okay with who you are, or learn who you are and then be okay with it. So I wish more of us really understood that. But my experiences definitely impacted my childhood, hence my experience as a Black woman. And now, besides, like, obviously, like, checking in with myself before a hairstyle, checking in with myself, even like just your body, like, being sexualized at a young age was cuckoo. Okay, it was cuckoo. And people not recognizing that there is something wrong with that. Like, there's so much about the African culture I can talk about, but being sexualized at a young age and having that as a normal African experience is diabolical. Like, what is wrong with people? Like, I remember being home at a certain point, or someone asking me, or my dad asking me about something, like, sometimes like men are aggressive and it's like their birthright to grab a woman by the booty and whatever. It's like their birthright. And someone was asking me what I would do, and I was like, first of all, that is sexual abuse and harassment. And they were like, well, it doesn't matter in this African country. And I was like, I don't think you recognized that how wrong that statement is. And what they were trying to tell me is that there is nothing I can do because every man in that country does that anyway. So I was like, okay, there is something 1,000% wrong with that perception. And a lot of us in the African culture, in the Black culture, grew up just being sexualized at a young age, grew up being sexually abused, touched, molested, because it's the Black culture and community and that's normal. I beg your biggest pardon. What? That is the other thing that, like, Black girls have been impacted by, being sexualized at a young age, being hypersexual at a young age, because if your worth is not in your skin and who you are as a person and how you look like, it should be about your body and what you can give to men. And by the way, men taking advantage of that, full advantage of that, and families not doing nothing. I know so many African girls who have been abused by people who, like, their family knew. Like, it's crazy. I mean, it happened to me. So I know it has happened to, like, a handful, multiple women, not just in the Black community, but just in general, every race. That should not be the case, doofuses. Anyways, I'm gonna chill out. But that is a typical experience of a Black girl, being sexualized at a young age, being made to feel like your body is the only thing you can give away, especially if you're curvy and, like, you bloomed a little younger than most people. And to that, I would say, if I had a daughter, first of all, you say any and everything. Men are not supposed to be given the birthright to abuse people because, you're a man. I grew up with a girl who I think we all knew she had been sexually abused. And after a while, I could tell, and I think I was like 10, 12, 10, 11, 12. After a while, I started to tell that the village people, the society people, the town people would make her feel bad for speaking up. Huh? Make it make sense. I saw her being ridiculed and questioned about something that happened to her, and she spoke up and she got punished for speaking up because this dude was, mind you, he was like at least 20 years older than her, 15, 20 years. And she's the one that got ridiculed. He got a pat on the shoulder and just like, oh yeah, like kids lie all the time, so that probably did not happen. I beg your biggest pardon. I was 10, 11 ish, 12 when that happened, when I saw that happen. And that was the first instinct of like, wait a minute, you're telling me that if I get abused and I speak up, that's what's gonna happen? And how that impacted me at that age. When I got abused, sexually abused, not one time, not twice, but 3 times, I didn't speak up. Because I'm like, okay, so if they didn't believe her, they're not gonna believe me. So I just shut up. Because first of all, also other issues were going on in the family at that point, but I didn't really have anyone to talk to about it. I didn't trust anyone. No one. Emotionally, I didn't trust anyone, and I knew it was going to be used against me anyway, so I didn't try. And that has caused major issues in my life, just the impact of that. But that is an experience most black women have when they're growing up, or even most women in general, to be honest. Like, you can't speak up because your family is so... That's the other thing about African households. The people pleasing and putting everyone above your own, like, I can't do it. I think I'm grateful for the Lord for the experience of walking away from that, because the interdependency is really good, but that one aspect of pleasing everybody else but the people close to you, but your kids, but like not even trying to protect your own kids or your own spouse or whoever because you're trying to please society and whoever because, you know, reputation and status is important. No, absolutely not. Anyways, this is a rant. This video is already 30 minutes long. Bleaching your skin, your hair type, using, you know, men seeing you for your body, all these things are experiences for most black women, for most black girls, and I want to tell you that none of that has to be your identity anymore. None of it has to be your identity anymore. And I think we take it on and we soak it up as a sponge, not realizing how it's really affecting us. And trauma changes your brain and your nervous system. It does. It rewires everything for the worse. So don't let that be the experience of the generation after you. Try to be the different one. Try to be the one that's going to put your foot down and learn about yourself and love yourself. I love you, and I'll see you in my next rant and educational video, I guess. Good night. It's literally 1 a.m. Bye.